Next thing I seen about free will was there is a Shenan, right? Coming back to the same exact conversation I've been having this entire program. There's a Shenan. That Shenan has free will, and that Shenan is using his free will to choose what he wants to engage with. He can engage with his past, that shows up in his mind. He can engage with his regrets, that shows up in his mind. He can engage with his shortcomings, that shows up in his mind. He can engage with his capabilities and strengths, right? That Shenan has that power, which then allows Shenan to be better, to show up in a much more wholesome, capable, powerful, present way to life. A lot of mistakes adjust themselves automatically just on that level. It's really useful. But I didn't expect to see, as all of you here, I think, know, that's insights happen spontaneously, and it's like you don't even know why it's happening sometimes. I didn't expect to see that that free will that we're blessed with, that each individual has, is to be used to look at the divine. So in other words, if I'm looking at my thoughts, if I'm looking at what's showing up in my mind, and I'm using that free will to engage or not engage, engage or disengage rather, take it seriously or not, so on and so forth. I want to look beyond it. And the quote by Rumi comes to mind, which I think is a beautiful thing. I don't know what he means by this, but I think it fits here so well. The quote says, "Don't look for love, look for the one looking for love." I thought that was just beautiful because it's like, whew, takes you inwards. I'm looking for love. Now I'm looking at the one looking for love. Just takes me so much more inwards, so much more freedom, so much more insight, so much more presence, so much more clarity available. Because all that's happening is I'm looking more upstream. And every time you look upstream, you can never go wrong because you're looking, you're going closer and closer to the source, right? Now, for me, free will was about looking at, or rather exercising that ability to see the divine, to see the source of that free will. Where is it coming from? How was it put into place? And I mean, I didn't ask for it, right? I was just curious, and I started to see more that free will itself is a function of a separate self. So here's how it appears in my mind as far as explanations go, knowing damn well that no explanation can ever do justice to this, okay? So anytime anything is in words in this conversation, you can bet that those words are not it. They're just not it. They can be used as guides and pointers, but they're just not it. To me, it looks like this. There's an ocean, and out of that ocean, there's a drop that's taken out of that ocean. That drop thinks of itself as a separate self. And now that drop has desires and goals and fears and wants and needs and a history of where it came from and an ambition to where to go, because that drop is separated from the ocean. It has to be big, bad, powerful. You have to make it into this big, bad world. And then that free will is used to engage with whatever's showing up. Imagine needs and wants showing up in your consciousness and you having the ability to engage with it. Versus that drop of the ocean realizing that it came from the ocean. It didn't come from anywhere else. It didn't come out of the world. It is not made up of, what the world has contributed to it. It's made of ocean material. And once that drop realizes that it's the ocean in a drop, right? There's a saying that I posted on my stories the other day, and I can't remember who it's by, but it's a quote that I posted, that many know that the drop goes into the ocean, but few know that the ocean goes into a drop. So that drop of water is made of the ocean, and realizing that dissolves free will. It literally dissolves free will. And that's how it looks to me right now, with whatever level of understanding I have with this, is that the more I realize that there's only a divine will at play, and that divine will is what governs life, the less I'm interested in what Shenan is about, what his desires are, what his goals are, what his needs are, what his wants are. And I'm not saying it's one or the other, right? I'm in this game as much as you are. So there's more and more realization, even though I sometimes wrestle with it, or I dance with it in good days and wrestle with it in bad days. But there's more realization that there's only a divine will at play, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it came here to know itself. It came here to recognize itself. It has created a Shenan in order for it to recognize itself. Now, the best I can tell, that is the way. And many along from, the beginning of time have pointed us there in various ways, to say that divine will is in charge of everything. It literally governs everything. And the biggest illusion, as many of the spiritual teachers always say, is the biggest illusion is the illusion of a separate self. That is the biggest illusion. And in the I don't know, 18th to 21st century, I would say that separate self has perpetuated so much, and has us seeing the world as if that is something true. So we have built a world based on a separate self and really forgotten where we come from. Completely forgotten it. We have amnesia around who we are, truly. And once we start to realize that, we will start to step out of the way more and let the divine will govern the life, because it is divine's life anyways. It is not our life. Who are we, the phantom self, trying to claim life? And the phantom self is just a product of its environment. Whereas when we start to step out of the way, it just does a much better job. And you know what I've seen around this is that you enjoy life. It makes me laugh. It's because, like, what are you doing analyzing life and assessing goals and, shooting for the stars and something? Enjoy life. Because the one that runs blood through your system and the one that spins the planets, it has this job of life anyways. So you start to enjoy every experience, and every experience you encounter becomes more and more rich, because all you're doing is staying present. You're not trying to make shit happen. You're letting shit happen. You're not letting shit happen from your ego. You're letting it happen from your heart. And that is the essence of realizing that free will is only free will until the realization that free will is that of a phantom self. It dissolves into divine will, and divine will takes over. It does what it does, and it will never steer us wrong, because it's his life or her life, however you want to put it. It's its life. It doesn't sound right. It's its life. It's the divine's life. It will guide, it will protect, it will lead you to where you're supposed to be, and you have a destiny. And as far as anybody who has this in mind, because usually this kind of questions come, what about my goals and dreams? What about what I want and what I need and what I want to achieve and all the plans that I want to accomplish? Well, I'll tell you what I've seen around that. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen with or without you. You can try however you want to try and exhaust yourself and get involved. If things are supposed to happen, they're going to happen with or without you. You might as well enjoy the ride because you're not making anything happen anyways. You just think you are.